touchdown on the sideline, or what did you think when it happened?
Yeah, seeing it live, obviously, I was just kind of watching the catch, and I saw him catch it, and I couldn't see his feet, so I was just waiting to see what the refs did, and obviously they said he was out of bounds, so I was like, all right. And I didn't get to see a good replay of it until we challenged it, and then after seeing that, I was like, oh, that's a catch. So, but Rome, I mean, the whole time Rome was saying he caught it, said he thought he got his feet in, so I'm just glad we were able to challenge that because it was a great catch by him.
Matt said he anticipates you playing next week. He also said he reserves his right to change his mind on that. What do you think your body of work through 2 preseason games, is it enough for you to feel like you're ready for week 1 if he does change his mind, or what would you like to work on maybe against Seattle?
Yeah, I think at this point, I think I'm definitely ready for week 1 and carry on throughout the season. I think these first 2 games were a lot of good work, obviously getting the practice in with Cincy and with the Patriots as well. But I think, playing in that last game would just be getting more reps, just getting more comfortable, seeing new looks, going against a different team. So I don't think it would hurt.
What is it about what you've done that makes you feel like you're ready for week 1 right now?
I think it's just getting those reps, getting comfortable, just being in a game. I think throughout training camp, just practice reps, and obviously I think 5 series I've played so far through preseason is just, I think, a good starting point to going into the season.
What did you see on the touchdown pass? It felt like it was like right in rhythm and it was really sticky coverage, and he stuck it right in there.
Yeah, no, it was a great route by Jay Reed. It's what we call a through route. It was man coverage, it was sticky coverage, but he won inside. It was pretty much just running away from the DB, and there was a backer that was kind of out in front of him, so I just held on to it for a little bit, let him just continue to run through that second window, and he made a great play at the end, just being able to bounce off that DB and get in the end zone. So it's a great right by him.
Matt said you called the first play of the game. What happened there where it didn't get in time or whatever, and what made you decide on the play that you called?
Yeah, no, there was something that we talked about pregame about we had a play call, and if they were giving us a field pressure look, we were going to get out of it and go to a different play. Pretty much I was telling the offense in the huddle that that's what we would do, and I look up and the play clock was at like 13. So I wouldn't have time to get us back into that other play, so I just let that play ride. And right when we broke the huddle, they bumped the clock back to 25. So I was like, I don't know what was going on with the clock at that point, but yeah.
When Matt decided to punt on that 4th and 5, your second series, at that point, did you know already that you're coming back for the 3rd series, and do you think that factored into the decision to punt?
Yeah, I think the goal for us going in was to score a touchdown. And obviously we weren't satisfied with, what we had done so far in the game. But yeah, I think the situation there, I think we were going to punt regardless. We were trying to get a play to draw them off sides right there with that 4th and 5 when we were out there, and just take the delay and kick it.
For a bunch of people who don't know anything about quarterback play, we were talking about the pass to Dobbs for the big gain. Does that need to be more inside so the sideline is out of play there, or do they have to go outside because of where the defender was?
I think just where the defender, the way he played it, Romeo was trying to get back outside of him, and he kind of just walled him to the sideline. And I kind of just, obviously you can throw it a little bit more inside, but I don't know if he would have been able to get to it with the way the DB was kind of just walling him on the sideline. But like I said, he made a great catch, getting his toes in bounds right there. Yeah.
So was it where you wanted it, or did you underthrow it since you're always so tough on your defense?
No, I think that ball was where I wanted it. When it came out of my hand, I thought it might be a little underthrown, but I think it was able to get to right where I wanted it.
So what happened on the shotgun snap, Jordan, and how do you settle the boys down after something like that?
Yeah, on that play, it was what we call a double cadence. And after the first cadence, it looked like the DN on the right side might have jumped, and that's kind of what Josh saw and felt. And that's why he snapped it right there. And my eyes weren't on the snap at that point. And obviously, went back behind me, something we never wanted to happen, and I just wasn't able to get the ball back right there. But it was just kind of miscommunication. Obviously thinking that we got a free play of them jumping off sides, and I guess I'd have to go back and see, but I'm not sure if the guy was off sides. If he wasn't, the ref said he wasn't, so something we'd have to go back and look. But obviously something we got to clean up, something we never want to happen.
As an offense, bit of a rocky start through those first 2 drives, and then you got the ball at the 7-yard line. Did you say anything to your guys before that drive?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think everybody was feeling it, feeling that we weren't, playing up to our standard those first two drives. And then, yeah, obviously, I think there was a penalty on the kickoff. And everybody was just, I mean, pretty much my message to guys was go 97 yards or 93 yards, however far it was. Let's go get a touchdown. So, but I think everybody rallied. I mean, obviously, going to that first play, we had the false start, which didn't help. But it's just one of those things when adversity hits, I like the way we rallied, though, and we were able to go score.
You said everyone's feeling it, knows that it's a rocky start. How do you sense that as a quarterback during the game? Is it on the sideline, on the field? How do you sense that as a quarterback?
It's just on the field, obviously we want to be successful. You want to go score right away. And, we didn't do that the first drive, got the second drive opportunity, and, we didn't do anything with that one. Didn't even put any points up, getting the field goal range. So it's just one of those things, you feel it. Everybody feels it. It's just, we got to turn the tide, be able to bounce back and go put some points up.
After you slid and then there was a late hit that got flagged, was there anything said?
Yeah, no, I think, I felt the guy that was running behind me, and that's why I saw I got the first down, and I slid, and then, yeah, he jumped on my back and right on my neck, and I knew it was going to be a 15-yard penalty, and it was one of those things, the heat of the moment, some things were said, and a little shove match, and then obviously the O-line stepped up, which was, you love to see as a quarterback, the guys having your back. I appreciate all those guys getting in there for me. But yeah, it's just one of those things.
At what point on that do you decide to tuck it and run?
Yeah, I mean, right away, right when I hit the top of my drop, I kind of saw the coverage that they were presenting. They were taking away the concept we ran, and I kind of just felt a opening right there, and it's just a split-second decision. You got to hit that back foot and decide if you're going to throw a check down or take off, and I saw the hole, and just was able to make a play right there and get out.
How the game ended, Jordan? Have you ever gone through anything even remotely like that? And I guess as a player, I'm sure you always know you're kind of vulnerable. What's going through your head during those minutes when he's down on the field?
Yeah, no, I've never been a part of a situation like that, and it's a scary situation. You don't know what's going on, if he's going to be okay or not. I think we've heard that he's stable condition and is going to the hospital now. So it's just a scary situation. Everyone's not knowing what's going on, and thoughts and prayers are with him. And just the way they kind of ended the game, I think it was the right decision. You never want to see that happen. Going back to last year with the Damar Hamlin incident, it's just a scary incident that you never want to see happen, and kind of everyone's just scared after that, I feel like.
Jordan, we were talking to Goody yesterday, and he was talking about the risk reward of playing the preseason. You got the late hit on you. I'm guessing that there were at least a couple people holding their breath on the sideline after the fumble when you're diving for it, and some 300-pound guy can land on your arm. Once you're playing, do you just have to play the way you play? You can't be, what's your approach knowing that there is some risk to a game that doesn't count?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, once you get in the battle, in the heat of the moment, you're not thinking about that. I think if you are thinking about that, it might amplify the risk for maybe injuries and things like that. So, I mean, I just go out there and compete when I get out there, and let the coaches kind of decide what's going on. If it might be getting a little too much for me to come out, but yeah, I mean, things like that, it happens. I'm trying to get the ball back in that situation, not even thinking about if somebody might land on my arm, things like that. And then yeah, I mean, the late hit, it's just things that happen during the game, and you can't really control that.
Jordan, if we go back to the late hit, we were just talking to Zach Tom. Does that build a little camaraderie, a little, everybody's got one another's back when you see your lineman jumping right into the fray there for you?
Oh yeah, no, I think it does completely. I mean, I think it's awesome for me to feel that those guys have my back. It's awesome. I feel that already, but then to see it, you love to see that. And I appreciate those guys stepping in and having my back right there. And I think it does build some, unity, camaraderie. And I think obviously going back to practice, some of the incidents that happen in practice, just the way, I mean, you love to see guys having each other's back and fighting for each other, and just not letting any of that stuff kind of slide out there on the field. So yeah.
How valuable do you think the work with the Patriots this week has been as far as needing to throw with two guys who are pretty covered? I mean, they did a really nice job on a lot of their man stuff. The guys, you've got no window, and you really have to stick some throws.
No, I think it was great. Anytime you get to practice, I think it's good, and I think these guys do a really good job of mixing in coverages, doing man, and they do, have some sticky coverage, and they do a good job up front with some twists and things like that. So I think it's very valuable reps. Obviously, in practice versus the preseason game, you get to see a little bit more of their defense, a little more of their scheme come out. So I think it's all valuable stuff, and obviously practice is, it's a little bit more free. You can try new things, experiment, and it's great reps to learn from.
We haven't talked to you since the things got chippy Thursday. They're obviously chippy tonight before the ending. You've been a part of one-day joint practices, two-day joint practices. To you, is it worth the second day when things tend to get chippy? Are you still able to get things done in that second day, or is one day a better situation?
Yeah, I think it just depends on the situation, but I do agree that, 2 days of practice, obviously after the first day, things, tensions might be there, and then you go back, watch film, come back the second day. And yeah, day 2 for us, the tensions were high, and it started right at the beginning of practice. So it's just, for us, it's a way to find out, how you can reset, just focus on yourself and kind of not get distracted by those things. But yeah, tensions were high at day 2, so I don't think I've had a 2-day practice, or I think we had one with the Saints last year. But obviously compared to the Cincy practice, I think 2-day practices get a little chippy.
Real quick.
Last one.
Somebody asked you if you were thinking too much this week. It was the first time I've seen you get maybe mildly offended. It looked to me like you just don't get frazzled. Like you have the snap, you have the thing with the clock, and it just doesn't seem to get to you. Is that going to be one of your strengths? I know there's a long way to go in this journey, but is that going to be a really important piece of you having success in this league? Because I've seen plenty of young quarterbacks get frazzled, and it doesn't seem to happen very much.
Yeah, I think that's one of my strengths, and I think that's something that as a quarterback you kind of have to be that guy for the team that's not going to, let anything phase you. If things aren't going right, some adversity hits, you're not going to be fazed by it, and you're going to be that, kind of steady rock for everybody that they can look to and know that if you're good, that we can all be good as well. But I think that's one of my strengths. It's one thing that I've kind of, I think, done since high school is just be able to stay calm in situations, when things might not be going right, or when things are going good, just trying to stay easy and be that calm place for the team.